2, 3.
So now that we have all our strips pressed, I want to show you a little trick on how to cut them. I do use the lines on my mat only to line this up so you're going to get a right angle. And if you will put them, your very first one with the seam allowance going down, and then the next one, seam allowance is going up and they nest together. Then, so you can also match up two of the same fabric or mix it up. This is scrappy, so I'm just throwing everything in here. And part of the problem in cutting is sometimes going over the bulk and all the seam allowances. So I've just staggered mine up as high as I'm comfortable with the ruler and with cutting. If you don't like cutting through lots of layers at one time, don't do this. But here I've got just 3, so I'm not going through any great thicknesses. I'm going to trim up using the line on the mat just to get a straight edge. Everything else is going straight across. And I'm trimming a little extra because I noticed on a couple of my pieces I had some selvages and stuff. So I've made my first cut, and then instead of making my small individual cuts and working down the row, I like to go ahead and mathematically decide how far over I want to go and cut here at this measurement, and then that way I've held everything down with the ruler and the ruler doesn't slide as much, and if it did slide, the pieces on this side necessarily aren't affected yet. Then start moving my ruler backwards. And don't worry about depending, since this is scrappy, you're going to have some little stragglers like that you're not going to need to use. And then just keep working backwards. And the nice thing, and then I'd cut all of this and save the extra pieces. You're going to use them somewhere else in the project. But the nice thing about that is then you have all your little stacks already ready to sew. And if you've put your very first piece down, that when you feed them in through the feed dog, the seam allowance is already going down, so you're not going to have any problem at all with any movement on that. So that's how you cut your 9 patches. So get ready to sew, and I'll see you next week.